Well, hi, whoever's just joined me, and welcome. I'm just going to wait a few minutes. Hopefully, a few more people join us. Whilst I'm doing that, I think it's time to pour a beer. Got to keep the whistle wet, haven't we, while we're talking? Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to a live chat here. I'm just pouring a little beer here just to keep the whistle wet. Help the tongue keep moving. Cheers, all. It's not a beer review, by the way. Can someone let me know if you can hear me okay? Hi, John. Hi, Phil. Can you hear me okay out there? Ah, that's good. I don't want to be talking to myself. I know I'm the only person that ever listens to me, but it's nice to have some other people listening too. Well, welcome to Saturday, the 4th of February. I've been asked a few questions recently, mainly about what it's like on a narrowboat in the middle of winter. Let's just try and get this a little bit better. Well, probably warmer than most people are in a home at the moment. I'm just looking across at my temperature gauge there. Now I'm a good 20 feet from a fire, and it's 23 degrees Celsius in here at the moment, so quite nice and comfortable. How do I keep myself nice and warm is the other way people have asked. Well, I've done a few things to help out, especially this winter. It's been quite cold. I've put like a secondary double glazing, thick plastic sheets over the windows, taped them around, and it helps an awful lot to keep a lot of the cold back. This boat's old; it's not particularly well insulated. It only has a polystyrene lining behind the wood paneling. It's not spray foamed, so it's not as good as an awful lot of boats out there. But the use of the solid fuel stove, of course, keeps me nice and warm. And I spend quite a lot of time this time of the year collecting firewood. Might have seen the video a couple of weeks ago or a week ago or so, where I was out collecting firewood. Well, I have been back again. It's supposed to be getting cold again next week, so plenty of firewood again to make sure I can keep warm. Now I'm gonna have to duck down to see like this, so see if there's anyone. Chris from the Anchor. How you doing, Chris? And George. Hey, nice to see you people from the Anchor joining me. I'm not far away from you guys, actually. I'm less than a mile away. I'm just down the cut. I'm at Springwood Haven. But yes, so got any questions? Please do ask. It doesn't have to be about the winter. It was just a few questions I'd been asked about the winter. I thought I'd bring to you. But yes, please fire away with any questions and I'll try to answer them. Obviously, keep them within the framework of YouTube guidelines. Yeah, we have to be very careful on here, otherwise, I will get deplatformed, and I don't want that, of course. Let's see what we got here. I'm just going to try and do this so I can see more. That's better. I can see all of you now. There was a message that had come up over my chat box, and I could only see the bottom two lines. I was worried if I cancelled the message, I was going to cancel the chat box, but I haven't. So it's still there. That's good. That's good news. Yes. So yeah, keep them warm. I must admit, just before Christmas, and I was actually moored outside the Anchor when we had that real cold spell. Was it just before Christmas? I think it was. It might have been just after. I think it was just before. And I got frozen in there, and I was stuck there for about 8 or 9 days without being able to move. So the cold, is a big effect on boating life. The ice gets too thick, you can't get through it, and it doesn't take that much to do that. I travelled the other day in about an inch of ice to go and do some shopping because this is the last ice in, and it's hard work, definitely going for an inch of ice, I can assure you. But I was hungry and I needed some food. Right, what do we have here? We was with Pete in Atherton yesterday for a catch up. He's having some problems with his boat at the minute. Oh, well, I shall be up in Atherton probably tomorrow. Well, I will be there tomorrow, and I will see if I can give Pete a hand. Thanks for letting me know on that, because I suppose to try to stick together. Anything I can do to help Pete out, I will. Cheers, all. First one today, of course. It is as well, by the way. I opened it just as I came on live. Yes, so, please fire away with any questions you got. I would like to keep sort of backwards and forwards conversation going. It helps a lot, makes it a lot easier for me than just trying to think of something to say. What am I drinking tonight? Well, that's a nice, easy question, isn't it? Well, that's back to front in my view, but I'm assuming that's the right way for you. Yes, I'm on a can of Old Speckled Hen. When I'm sitting here at the computer, I do like to use the little short glasses. I just find otherwise, wafting my hands around, I'm more likely to knock over a pint glass. So I use these little tumblers, whatever they are, 6-ounce glasses, probably 5-6-ounce glass. But the beer tastes just as good out of it anyway. Well, thank you very much, Lee. The name on there is Anfield Road Layout in the Loft. I am, and it's Lee. Is his name on there? I am. Oh, gee whiz. Got what I was going to say now. I am subscribed to Lee's channel, is what I was going to say. Yes, so thank you very much. I try to make my videos as real as possible. What I'm doing, what I'm saying, is what I'm thinking. I don't script anything. There's no script here. I've no pieces of paper for tonight. The only time I actually wrote a few things down was when I did the video a couple of weeks ago on the beer. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to give my input of what I thought the beers were like. And then I looked on, and I'd already previously looked online a few days ago, and I looked up the beers to see what the descriptions were from the brewers and see if they basically were the same. By the time I actually did the video, I couldn't remember which comment was from which, from whatever. So my opinions really were my opinions and not what the brewery had said. And you probably noticed they didn't exactly level out as what they said all the time. I just got to lean forward every time. I'm afraid, even with my glasses on, the script which comes up on the chat here is so small, I have to get really close to read it. Right, Leicester. You can stop in Leicester. You need to stop, and I can't remember the name of the place. It's the Floating Pontoons. If you're coming from the River Trent, there's also a place just before there, New Moorings, which is on like a little cut off, little arm which is there. Both of those, I'm told, is safe. Now, I'm told the Castle Moorings, the pontoon there, is not so safe, and I wouldn't recommend mooring on the towpath side. Although I did see boats moored there when I came up through, but I wouldn't. Before Leicester, if you're coming from the River Trent, Mount Sorrel is absolutely gorgeous there. well worth a walk up into the village as well. It's just across the river and it's not far. And if you're coming from the northbound, and I can't think of the name of the town now, it's where I did the video of the Pack Horse Bridge. That's great mooring there as well. I just can't come up with the name of the place at the moment. But it's absolutely wonderful. And yeah, the River Soar navigation is absolutely beautiful. Mooring is hard work. Few and far between good moorings, and it's few and far between good places to go shopping as well. Mount Sorrel, you stop there, and if you want to walk around to Asda, it's about a mile and a half's walk there. So you've got to be ready to go for a little bit of a walk. Although there's a great butcher on the high street, which is literally 300 or 400 yards away. So that's worth visiting. But yeah, River Soar navigation, well recommend it. Just make sure you do it in the summer, this time of the year when you've got the chance of floods. I stay well off of rivers. But yeah, well worth doing. And I did it, as you probably know, last summer, late summer, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Met some great people along the way as well, which is always a bonus. Yes, Chris, the maid has some great beer, three great ales on actually. They have Abbott Ale, which I very much recommend. It's one of my go-to ales in a pub. They have also Old Speckled Hen on cask, of course, and Bass Ale. All three ales are very, very drinkable, and it's £3 a pint in there as well. And the people in there are nice. It's not a restaurant. The only food you'll get in there is a packet of crisps or perhaps a ham roll. So it's a pub, you know, it's a proper old pub, which I enjoy it. And also, it's 50 feet from the canal, even better. Well, I will be doing some more. But the problem with doing cooking videos is trying to think of something different to do. And it's not easy to film in the galley, trying to put cameras here, there, and everywhere. I enjoy doing them, but they get very, very few views. And there's an awful lot of effort to go into um, to get half a dozen views. And my cooking channel's not monetized, so I don't get anything out of it. And I've been trying to make more videos on this channel. I've been trying to push this channel along a bit, which is growing, which is rather nice. I still don't make particularly any money on it. People think, oh, I'm a YouTuber and I must be making fortunes. I can tell you how much I'm making so far. At the moment, for the last 28 days, I only looked at it earlier, was £21 and about 6p. So that's what I make about a month on YouTube. Okay, back in the summer when I was putting a video out daily, that did push up to around about £60 a month. So that was £2 a day. But you still can't really live on that, can you? Sorry, I've got an itchy nose here. I've got a oh, anyways, I think it's because I cut my hair earlier. I think I've probably got some hairs up my nostrils. Oh, just sorry about this leaning forward, but you met Gary, yes? I've never met Gary actually. I've spoken to him on the phone and things, or on Messenger, but I've never actually met Gary. Hello there, David. Well, welcome from Spain. A little bit warmer there probably than it is here. Uh, I'd say I don't mind telling people how much my boat cost. I think I got an absolute screaming bargain at the time. I actually bought it off of eBay, of all places. I'd been looking at boats, and my brother was running around taking me here, there, and everywhere. Absolutely fantastic. We went and looked at quite a few boats, and just about everything was a load of rubbish in my price range. My price range was up to about 45k. I really didn't want to spend that much, but that was definitely the maximum I could go to. Came back from a trip. We'd been down onto the Kenneth and Avon, a couple of marinas down there, and looked at some boats. And I'll tell you, I opened up the side hatch on one of them to look out, and as I opened the side hatch off, it dropped out and straight into the canal. I did tell them. I didn't just leave it like it. And they said, "Oh, we meant to tell you not to open that because it was a bit dodgy." Oh well, it happens. I'm not sure if that was when my brother was with me. It might have been one I looked actually on my own afterwards. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I paid £24,000 for my boat. It's an old boat. It's a 1986, but it's 60 foot long. And one of the biggest selling points for me was it's got a 3-cylinder Lister air-cooled engine in it. And anyone that knows anything about engines, especially Lister engines, they basically run up forever. And yes, I do run it on 100% red diesel. It's not if red diesel is particularly cheap anymore in the UK. Literally, if I buy diesel just over here, they're charging about £1.60 a litre for it in the marina. And I can go into Atherstone and it's like 163 for white diesel. So somebody's making a lot of money on the red diesel at the moment. Seeing the crude price of oil at the moment is slightly lower than it was exactly a year ago. A year ago, I was paying 90p a litre for red diesel. Somebody's making a lot of money and they're not passing on the decrease in the price, which I find quite disgusting. But there's obviously that's across all fuels as well. And yeah, we're getting ripped off. The whole world is getting ripped off at the moment for cost of fuel. And I'm pretty sure it's all to do with this so-called net zero, which will never happen, by the way. It's impossible to be net zero. On a weekly basis, how much power do you use? What sort of solar power do you have? And do you fire around the engine a lot? I'm new to boating and I'd like some ideas. I will need to vlog. Hello, Steve, and welcome to my channel. In the summer months, if it's a bright day, it doesn't have to be real sunny or real hot or anything. Heat makes no difference. It's the amount of light you're getting from the sun. On a sunny day, midsummer, I can run the whole boat on solar. When you're getting 14, 16 hours a day of sunlight, I have absolutely no problems. I can moor up and not run the engine once. And I only have 300 watts of solar power. I would like to double that up to 600 watts, quite simply to help out this time of the year. I don't have, well, of course, I'm living on my own as well. So I have one laptop plugged in. I have the fridge running, and the fridge is the biggest drain on electricity on the boat. If you have a 12-volt fridge, it's an old fridge, so it really needs replacing. But 12-volt fridges are blooming expensive, so it's got to stay. I reckon that the fridge is as old as the boat, and the boat, let's say, is 1986. So what's that make it? 37 years old. I expect the fridge is that old as well. It looks it. But power, yeah. At this time of the year, I do run the engine, and I normally get up in the morning. And you're not allowed to run your engine before 8 o'clock in the morning. So I normally start my engine at 8 o'clock in the morning and run it for about an hour. That will bring my batteries up to about 90%. But I have quite a large alternator on my engine. I have a 110 amp hour alternator, so it does kick out the power quite quickly. Obviously I have lead acid batteries and they do take a long time to actually get fully charged. Now, hopefully it's going to be a bright day and I'm getting some solar. And if I do, that will keep me going then until about 6 o'clock in the evening normally, when I'll run the engine for 2 hours, which will take me to basically a full charge. So I'm running this time of the year about 3 hours a day. If I move the boat, obviously it's a lot less. But if I'm stationary, just charging the batteries is about 3 hours a day, where in the middle of the summer, it could be 0. Hope that helps. That's a question I get asked a lot, George. It says that that's Jordan. No, I did not have a survey done on my boat. And I'll tell you why I did not have a survey done on my boat. The gentleman I bought my boat off of bought it off of Rose's Narrowboats, but only purchased it just under 6 months before he sold it. Well, he showed me his full survey that was done that was only 6 months old, and all the work that was required to be done for it to pass the survey was done, which he also gave me copies of everything that was done. So no, I didn't have a survey done. I didn't see a point in having another survey done on a boat that had just been surveyed 6 months beforehand. I couldn't see, and what it had actually failed on some hull, there was a couple of pits in the hull and things like that. And Rose's Boats decided they weren't going to mess around. They put an 8mm overplate on the hull of the hull and up to the waterline. So there can't be any more pitting anywhere for leaks or whatever. So no, I didn't have a survey done. The only things that could have failed on was things that I could fix myself. So I haven't had any problems anyway. I've done quite a lot of work on the boats because being an ex-hire boat, it was designed as a 10-berth boat. So I've taken out all the bunk beds and I've been doing a lot of alterations. I've changed the lighting. That's another thing, by the way, for saving battery power. All the lights in the boats are all LEDs now. They weren't when I bought the boat, and that saves a huge amount on battery power. I actually, at the moment, have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of these LED strip lights on, and if I'd have had one of the old lights on there, which those like incandescent strip lights they had, halogen or whatever they were, there was used more power than these 6 on altogether. But yes, I did not have a survey, but I would recommend making sure you do get a survey normally. And I would have normally have had one, but I took the gamble. 6 months old survey I thought was good enough for me. I've got to lean forward. Sorry, people, to do this. I'm trying to catch up here now. Hello, Willie, from the USA. Whereabouts are you, Willie? I lived in Illinois for a while. Tax split on diesel. I normally do 20% for propulsion. Especially this time of the year. Actually, sometimes this time of the year I only do 10% on propulsion. I'm not moving the boat very much. I only move enough to really, at the moment, I'm only moving enough to comply with CRT regulations of basically moving the boat and not being anywhere longer than 14 days. And you know what? I never, I'm putting in 80 litres at a time. If they think I'm robbing them, come and find me, come and chase me. Sorry, but I think it's wrong anyway. I don't see why we should be having to pay any more, because if I do any more than the 20%, I'm paying more for red diesel than what white diesel is in the local high street in Tesco or somewhere like that. So I'm not going to go over 20% because that basically brings it up to the price of what it is on a forecourt anyway. And there's no way I'm going to pay more for red diesel than the price of white diesel. If the government doesn't like it, guess what? Come and chase me for the 10p I owe you. I do actually have Instagram. I just don't like Instagram. Yeah, I have all sorts of problems when I was on Instagram before. Well, I'll tell you what it was with Instagram, and I think you can now. You could only do Instagram with your phone. You used to be able to do it with your laptop, and I could download things from my laptop onto Instagram, no problem at all. And then when it became part of the Meta group or part of Facebook, they stopped doing that, so you could only do it with your phone. So I basically went, bye Instagram. I'm not using it, but I do believe you can again now. But I just haven't used it since. And I'll tell you what, just keeping up with, I put a few things on Facebook, a few odd posts here and there, and keeping up with doing the YouTube channel. I just don't have the time. I'm sorry, things are scrolling away back up here. I'm just going to go and try and catch up here a little bit. What cam do I film with? Well, I normally film with. Yeah. I normally I film most things with my GoPro 8 Black. Unfortunately, the GoPro 8 Black does not have. You cannot put in an external microphone. That's why I struggle with sound a lot. Now I can use my Nikon, which I've got a microphone for. I don't have it to hand, but I have a microphone for that. But the problem with using this is if I'm recording myself and I move a little bit, it doesn't like keeping up with focus sometimes. And if I'm too close, like I'm on the back of the deck, and like the focal length, I need to be about 3 feet away from the camera lens for it to be able to actually focus. So I have a little bit of a problem with that. I use it on occasionally for a distance. When I was up on the Macclesfield Canal and I filmed the folly, which is up on top of the hill, I can't remember the name of the folly now. I put on the telephoto lens and I filmed it with that. At distance, it's great, and on the tripod, it's great. The only other problem is it's just getting it to know it's in focus. That's always in focus, of course. Whereas this, I can move a bit sometimes. It should face recognition and keep me in focus. But like all this technology, it doesn't always quite do what it's supposed to do. I tell you what, I have found it's done before now is it will have me in focus, and if I forget to do anything with the flag behind me, if the flag stops waving, it will focus on the flag, and it'll put the flag in focus. So I have to remember now to tie the flag up so it's not flapping around. Yeah, so yeah, I have to be careful. But it's a much better camera to film with. But I would like to get a proper vlogging camera actually, but that's well down the line. I certainly don't have the money for that. Hope that's all helps. Oh, hello, Dan. Yes, do you know what, Dan? I am thinking about coming back up north again this year. I've been investigating about Standage Tunnel again, and it looks like it could be exactly the same problem as it was last year. The water shortages up there are going to happen again if we have a dry summer. So I'm going to, well, rather than going back on the same route again, at this moment in time, my plan is to go up to the end of the Trent and Mersey, do the Bridgewater, the Canal, and up onto the Leeds and Liverpool. Now, I know there can be a lot of problems up on the Leeds and Liverpool as well, but I'm thinking is I'll come back down round the Leeds and Liverpool and be up there perhaps for the spring next year, and then come back down through the Standage Tunnel and back down Huddersfield Narrow onto the Peak Forest and down back onto Macclesfield. But that's I'm hoping to do. As I say, I don't like setting plans in concrete. Things change so easily. You know, last year my plan was to stay on the Peak Forest and go up Huddersfield Narrow, out through the Standage Tunnel. Looked forward to that, but that was sort of my plan. Of course, I'm on the Macclesfield Canal. Actually, I was on the Peak Forest Canal, and they're closing Marple Lock flights and they're closing Bosley Lock flights. So I whipped round and I came back down, as you probably remember, Dan. I came back down through the Bosley Lock flight, and I came back down on the Bosley Lock flight the day they closed. The other reason was because when I phoned up the CRT on the 6th of June, just after I'd come up the Bosley Lock flight, I tried to book to go through Standage Tunnel. And the first booking I could get was the 30th of August. So, okay, I could have hung around for that sort of time. But they also told me that there are only letting 4 boats a week through, and the chances was that by the 30th of August, the tunnel was going to be closed anyway. So that's why I did the round, boat turn and came back down and off. But I love it up there. The Peak Forest Canal and the Macclesfield Canal, two of my favourite canals. And the other thing about what I really love about up that way, the people you meet and the places you go, absolutely fantastic. You're always made welcome, no matter where you seem to go up there, which is absolutely wonderful. Hello, Nikki. Oh, well, welcome aboard the good ship Albertine. You got Gary there, or you hidden Gary in the cupboard? Ah, Slurpy Dave. Yep, I better have one for you, Dave. Ah, yummy. You live in Arizona? Oh, okay. I'm going to be doing some more beer streams, and what I really want to do is one from I want to get to the summer months. I want to go into a pub, take my laptop with me, sit out in the garden, and get some beers in front of me in the sunshine in a proper old English pub, and drink some beers outside. I'm looking forward to trying to do that this summer. Do a couple of live streams from pub gardens. Well, we'll see how we get on. But before we get there, because of course it's still February, I'm going to do a couple of beer streams. And might be the next one. I think I'll give you a little bit of heads up here. The 22nd of February. The 22nd of February will be 3 years of me living on my boat. I actually bought it or put a deposit on it 3 years ago yesterday, was when I actually put the deposit on my boat, and I actually moved on to it on the 22nd of February. So I have in the cupboard, I have my last bottle, I believe, of Goose Island bourbon barrel stout, which I brought back from the US with me. And it's now about 5 years old. So it's been 3 years, and it was about 2 years old when I bought it back. I'm quite looking forward to that. It's 14.7% alcohol, and I think that's going to be one of the beers to do a beer review with. And I want to do it with a couple of other regular stouts, because I don't think I can do 14.7% alcohol beers. So that's my plan. It's going to be my next beer stream. It's going to be on my 3rd anniversary I've been on the boat, and I'm quite looking forward to it. I'm quite looking forward to that beer, I can assure you. You do the same 2080, yeah. I think most boaters do. As I say, I did drop it down to 1090 once the other week, because I was, well, I'll tell you what it was. I'd just I'd been down, I can't remember now, it was down in Coventry or something. I'd walked past the garage down in Coventry, and the price of the diesel there was 168, 169. And I come to put diesel in, and it was 163 for red diesel. I said, I'm not putting 20%, splitting it 20, all that extra tax. I said, I'm going to do 10, and that's what I'm doing this time. So I'm not making my red diesel more expensive than white diesel. Sorry, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And the price of diesel at the moment, the amount of money the government are making on VAT, they're making fortunes anyway. Oh yes, please. Thank you there, Hobshire. Yes, if you can click the like button, that really does help the old algorithm and helps to promote my channel. Now, what we got then? A caller from Colorado. Second question: if doing the Leicester Loop from Rugby, what is something not to miss? Leicester Loop from Rugby. Well, I'm not sure which way you're going to be going from Rugby. If you're going towards, well, anyway, okay, from Rugby, and I'm going to take you from Rugby onto the go north up the North Oxford onto the Coventry Canal, Coventry Canal up to the Trenton Mersey, then the Trenton Mersey, River Trent, and back up the Saw Navigation and Foxton. If you've got time, one of the places I would it's going to cost you a day. Well, it's going to cost you 2 days, a day there, day back. Well, it doesn't take a day to get there and back. But when you come before you get to Foxton locks, take a left up the Market Harbour line and go to Market Harbour. Absolutely wonderful old market town. And it's just wonderful up there. There's some absolutely wonderful places. There's a little bit of a hike down into the town. Well worth it. Other places en route. Mount Sorrel, absolutely wonderful. That's well worth a walk up through the village there. There are trying to think now where we'll be going. Where we're going. If you when you go through Polesworth on the Coventry Canal, definitely a stop at Polesworth and walk down to the old where you go across the river and where the old Polesworth Abbey was. There's nothing there really to see. It's absolutely wonderful walk and the history in the old tithe barn and the old church there. It's not the Abbey, it's the old church which was part of the Abbey. But people call it the Abbey. It's not. It's the actual church that was in the Abbey grounds. But absolutely wonderful. Polesworth, well worth a visit. I'm trying to think of other places on that route. Well, if you're a beer drinker, Burton upon Trent, visit one of the breweries. There's plenty of them there. That's always a nice little trip or a nice little boozer. The Swan Inn at Fradley Junction. That's a real proper old. Well, it's just one of those pubs that's been there forever. Well worth a visit, and there's some lovely walks around there as well for around by the reservoir and all that. I had never actually filmed the reservoir. I did the walk. I didn't even know it was there. I just happened to be out for a walk one day and I found it, and I didn't have a camera with me, so I didn't film it. But so I'm probably going back that way this year, so might well be doing it this year. We'll see. I'm just trying to think of other places. So many places I love walking off into. Shardlow. Shardlow's a lovely little stop off at Shardlow. You've got two great pubs there, the Malt Shovel. I'm trying to think the name of the other one. But Shardlow Village, walk up round there, there's great little places around. There's anywhere basically on the canal. If you walk into one of the little villages, it's normally worth the walk. They're just typical old English villages, most of them. There's another nice place to have a walk around. There's just so many of them. I'm never spoilt for choice. Well, I'm always spoilt for choice, I should be saying, I guess. There's always so much that I want to see, and I don't really always have the time to do it. I try to put into my videos, I try and go to places, and when I go to places, I try not to research it too much. Because when I get to these places, I want to show you and tell you what I'm thinking at exactly the same time. The only thing I might look up, if it's quite a large village, is a couple of points of interest around so I don't miss them out. But I don't read up about them. I'll just mark them on a map. Oh, I'll go to there, and I'll go to there as I walk around because I don't want any foresight in what I'm thinking at the time. I want it to be natural and what I'm thinking to come over to be as truthful as possible and and not scripted. That's it. Yeah, beautiful places though. That's a great ring, by the way. It's quite a long one though. I've got more questions down here, haven't I? I'll scroll down. They're all going through so quickly here. Where have we got to? Oh dear, I've got well behind. Favourite pub on the Macclesfield Canal? Too many of them. I think every pub I went into I enjoyed. And I'll tell you what, one which is right at the very start of the Macclesfield Canal on the Trent Mersey end, although it's sort of basically by the Trent Mersey Bridge there, but the Macclesfield goes right around, the Bluebell, right at the start of the, although technically, although that says the Macclesfield Canal when you go through the bridge there, bridge hole, technically the Macclesfield Canal does not start until you get to the stop lock, which is about a mile away or more. But Bluebell, that's a proper old pub. You go in there and they get the cider and they go in the barrels and they go down to the cellar and pour it straight into your glass out of the barrel. And they always have 6 real ciders on, 6 still ciders and 6 real ales on. Oh, that's a place. That's a proper place and absolutely beautiful. That's at Kids Grove. And Bollington, there's also the brewery pub. That was very interesting as well. I really enjoyed it in there. Great to talk to people and in there. It was very enjoyable. And I'll tell you what, funny enough, of all places I stopped into and had a great time was in Marple when I went to what was the old Conservative Club, which is now Marple Club. And anyone can go in there. And some of the cheapest beer around, they were like £2.59 for a pint of beer. And some good beer, and the company in there and the people in there really, really, really friendly. And it's just 50 yards from the canal. Brilliant. Some of the other pubs are a bit touristy, but they're still great pubs. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed everywhere I went when I was up there. Of course, the weather was brilliant as well, which helped. But I really enjoyed everywhere on the Macclesfield and everywhere I went on the Peak Forest as well. I'll try and catch back up here again. I've gotten all behind. I missed up something. I missed. Thanks for it. That's no problem, Steve. A Canon bridge camera. I don't know which one that is. I bought this camera in the US. I originally bought a Canon camera, but it wasn't until I got it home. It was the newest one in my price range. It was the C7 or something or other. I can't remember the exact name now. I got it home and it didn't take an external microphone. So I took it back and I got the Nikon instead. Only because this would take an external microphone. And if I want to use it for video, I really needed an external microphone. That's what lets this down, is no external microphone. I know the newer GoPros take it, but I don't have 600 quid to go and buy a new GoPro, so I deal with what I've got at the moment. Hopefully, when I fully retire properly, I will be able to. My pension all kicks in. I will be able to spend a little bit more and upgrade some of my equipment. Is what I hope to do. Stop the boats. Oh yeah, stop the boats, Dover. Don't get me started on that one, please. Yes, I am still very much enjoying Richard Vobe's channel. I think Richard and myself are definitely on the same page. I'll leave it at that for this channel. This is a boating channel, but we're definitely on the same page. And I watch an awful lot of videos similar to what Richard puts out, and I watch a lot of things on things like BitChute and Rumble, where they can say a little bit more than what you can say on YouTube. Yeah, the bourbon barrel stouts. I brought 4 of them back with me from America. 4 different ones, and I can't remember which one it is. Let's tell you what. Give me 2 seconds, and I'll grab it. This is the one I've got left. Actually, I just realised I've got two of them still in the cupboard. This one here is Bourbon County Brahmon Sherry. It's got cherries in it. And this one is only 14.1% alcohol. I don't know if it's visible down the bottom there. 14.1%. I'm rather looking forward to it. It's been kept in the dark in the cupboard on the floor, so it's cold down there and dark. Pretty standard, pretty steady temperature. So I'm hoping it's going to be absolutely brilliant. And it says on here, develops in the bottle up to 5 years. So yeah, that one I'm looking forward to. Another one of these. I didn't have one last year. That's why I still got two in the cupboard, of course. Because last year I didn't have one. The reason I didn't have one because I wasn't very well at the time. It says best before the 27th of August 24. See it on there. Yeah, so that's going to be a special one. I'm dropping things now. Oh, sorry about that. Dropping things or knocking things onto the floor. Right, where have we got to? Oh, say hi to Gary as well. Hi, Gary, rather, and Nikki. Thank you. 3 years, and I tell you what, it feels like 3 months. Time it's absolutely flown by. I don't know what to say. It's probably the best 3 years of my life. That's basically all I can say. It's just a wonderful life. I love being on the boat. I love the countryside, so I can moor up in the middle of nowhere. And if I need shopping, I can go shopping and things like that, and everything like that. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much, Willie. That will go towards another beer stream. Thank you very much indeed. Very much appreciated. I don't know if I think can I put this on somewhere? I can put somewhere you can put these up. I don't know how to do it. No, I'm not very au fait. I don't do live streams often enough to know how to do it all properly. No, I've lost the scroll on it. Oh, there we go. I've got that back. Right. 22nd, put it in your diary, 22nd of February. I don't even know what day of the week it is, to be honest with you. I haven't even looked it up. But I did think I'd do it on my anniversary of the boat. A banana and coconut stout last night, and I've been climbing trees ever since. Yeah, nice one. And on that note, I need a top up. Throat's getting dry. Cheers, everyone. Well, I'm not quite sure. Kenneth there. I know what the growlers and all are. Obviously, I lived in the US for a while. Very popular in the breweries over there. The growlers, you can take them in and get them filled up. The reason I'm not sure is because they would need to know exactly how much the jar holds. And the growler measurements and all that are not UK measurements, particularly because they're 64 fluid ounces, and that would be in the UK 3¼ pints or 3⅕ of a pint. So, yeah, there are breweries out there, there are pubs out there which have containers, and there'll be a 2 pint take home or 3 pint take home or 4 pint take home or whatever. I think you'd have to use their container to do it in because of the different volumes. Not sure on that one. That's the best answer I can give on that, I'm afraid. Not that well up on it. I don't I don't particularly ever bring beer back from a pub, even pubs that do this. The reason being is if I buy 4 pints of beer, and to be honest with you, by the next day they're not that great. I bought growlers when I was in the US, and you put them in the fridge and whatever, and you next day, and they're obviously those, of course, also are put out with CO2, and I think they're not even as great the next day. And they say you can keep them for a week. To be honest with you, I don't think you can, but I'm a bit of a beer snob. But over here, of course, if you're getting a real ale, which is just it's not top pressured, it's only hand pulled out of the barrel, it goes off very quickly. So if you're not drinking it that night, it's probably going to be vinegar in the morning, or at best it wouldn't be great. So I stay away from bringing beer home. I get beer, and I've tried to get beer in cans if I can rather than bottles. Although, as you know, that one isn't a bottle, and that's because if I get a bottle, I make sure they're kept in a very very dark place. Um, But the cans, of course, don't go off. A can basically is a mini keg, being aluminium or aluminum from our American friends. They keep It's a mini keg. They don't let light in, and there's no tinny taste like there used to be on the years ago. It's the perfect container for beer. Oh, the can. Okay, thank you, there, Slurpy Dave. You know more than I do. Into any container to take home. Okay, you see, I didn't know that. You know more than I do, only because I just don't know. Yeah, nice one, Dave. Oh, thank you, Ray. I enjoyed myself at Market Harbour. I thought it was a great. I stayed there. Actually, I went there twice because you can only stay there for a few days. I went there. I came back to Foxton. Actually, I came back to Foxton. Went up Foxton Locks. Went to Welford. Turned around at Welford, up the Welford Arm. Turned around there and came all the way back to Market Harbour because I liked it so much. Crazy things I do. You know, why not? Well, hi there, Jackie. I'm glad you're getting better. I didn't know you were ill, but if you're getting better, that's definitely. I'd like to hear everybody's good and healthy out there. Yeah, well, I try to. I thank you. I don't do very many lives. I did one a couple of weeks ago on the beer, and I did a few back in the lockdown when I couldn't get off the boat and all that sort of thing. I did a few lives. More to pass the time away around for everybody. Uh, Now it's we'll get together, and I'm trying to throw out a few lives at the moment, basically because I'm not doing the cruising. Um, I'll let everybody know a little thing that's I'm staying in this area for a few weeks. Excuse me, I've just got to blow my nose. I definitely think I got hairs or something up my nose after I cut my hair earlier. Um, yes, it's my parents' blue sapphire wedding anniversary. And so you don't have to go rushing out to look up what the Blue Sapphire wedding anniversary is. It's 65 years. My parents have been married 65 years on the 5th of April. And on the 1st of April, they're having a party. And since I was in the US for their diamond wedding anniversary and for their golden wedding anniversary, I think I should be here for their blue sapphire wedding anniversary, and I'm looking forward to going to the party. So I'm staying in this area, and the reason I'm staying in this area because my niece, my brother's daughter, will pick me up and take me there because she lives in Coventry, which I'm going to try and end up somewhere near Coventry around the end of March, so she doesn't have too far to travel. and she'll pick me up and take me there. So I'm staying in this area before I start heading north. Otherwise, by now, I would have been probably up on the Trent and Mersey. But I'm trying to stay local to this area, literally, so I can get a ride to Wellingborough. Never know with trains these days, do you? Because when I was in Market Harbour, I was going to get a train to my parents' house for my mum's birthday, which was back in October. Well, the trains were on strike, weren't they? So I ended up by having to get a taxi there and a taxi back. So I don't want to rely on trains. But anyway, that's why I'm in this area, and I'm going to be staying in this area for a while. I think I've got to scroll back down again. Have I missed anybody out? Please let me know if I've missed you out, because I've... Oh, yes, look, I hadn't caught up. Oops. Buy me a beer. Thank you very much, Lee. What editing software do you use? The editing software I use is NCH software. It's an Australian company, I believe. When I bought it originally 8 years ago, there were it's before iPhone. It was free ones on iPhones and all that. I don't have an iPhone anyway, so it makes no difference. And it's good. And I wouldn't edit on the phone anyway. I'd never be able to see it. I'd be like this, so blind as a bat. I use my laptop on video. This is on my laptop at the moment. This is using the webcam on my laptop. And yes, it's not top end, and I haven't paid for the upgrades over the last couple of years, so I could probably make it a lot better than it is. But I know how to use it, and knowing your way around the editing software really helps. It does make it a little bit quicker. I could probably get some more up to date. I could pay 40 quid and get or 50 quid or whatever it is and upgrade the one I have now. But I'm quite happy with what it does. You know what? I don't really need all the fancy. I don't use half of what's on there now, so why add more stuff on there for more money? As long as I've got basic editing, I can cut and do whatever overlay. The one nice thing about this software is you can overlay as many files as you want on videos or film or still shots, and as many soundtracks as you want. There's no limitations, so it just brings it all together, and it seems to work. I think it works anyway. Oh dear, excuse me, guys. Definitely itchy nose. Where are we? You ever thought of going on the Lancaster Canal? I thought about it last year, and I thought about doing it again this year. There's a couple of things holding me back at the moment. Not the trip across. I would do that, no problem at all. I don't have navigation lights, and I don't have an anchor on the boat. I'd have to fit those first. Navigation boat lights, that's simple. I buy a couple of the battery operated ones on eBay and just stick on the side, no problem at all. But I got to get an anchor rope, and an anchor chain, and all that sort of thing. And at the moment, it's just the cost is inhibiting me. So, yeah, I will do it one day. Probably after I retire, March the 24th next year. Yes, 65 years, yes. Did I not say, sorry, Catherine, I meant to say 65 years. Yeah, they've been together a while. And I'm 64 in March, by the way. Oh, well, that's sad to have lost your emerald there, Catherine. I like the Trent and Mersey as well. I must admit, I love going up and down the Trent and Mersey, Stone and places like that. Absolutely wonderful. And a lot of people don't like Kidsgrove for some reason, but I have no problems at Kidsgrove whatsoever. Nice shopping there. Obviously, Lidl's right on the canal there, which makes shopping easy. And Tesco's just around the corner. There's a laundrette just up the high street. Really handy shopping and very, very useful for boating. I know a lot of people don't like all the locks. That's boating life. I actually enjoy doing locks, believe it or not. I know people rave over the Ashby Canal. The Ashby Canal's nice. I did the Ashby Canal. You might have seen the videos I did a couple of years ago on the Ashby Canal. But it's not anything to rant and rave over. It's not the prettiest canal in the world. It's pretty. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty. But it's nothing compared with the north end of the Colin or the Peak Forest or the Macclesfield Canal. It's just not as good. Or even up when you go up through the Cordon Canal and places like that, onto the Leek Branch. They're in my top canals. And the Trent and Mersey, I think, is a beautiful canal from end to end. You go through some of the most prettiest little villages, absolutely wonderful, and little towns like Stone and places like that, as I said. And I love the Trent and Mersey Canal. And I like the single locks as well. Obviously, being a single-handed boater, the single width locks makes it a lot easier, unless you've got another boat in with you and they're doing the locks for you. Sorry, I've got to scroll back down here again. It's going up so quickly. But I do want to do the Lancaster. Definitely want to do it. Thank you, Catherine. There, and thank you, everybody else. Where are we? Shame, Catherine. Updating always means I have to learn new. So yes, and that is the problem. When you know, I change the editing software and update it. You know, I've got. Do you know what? I've got Windows 11 on my laptop, and it did an automatic update about a week ago. And I go to do something, literally upload video to my laptop, and it was all different. And I think, why? What was wrong with it before? Now, if I want for this, my laptop has both a regular hard drive and has a solid state drive, an SSD drive, whatever it is, SSD drive, solid state drive. And now, if I want to upload from the USB connector with if I plug that in the side and to upload my videos, that's what I did earlier on today. It now will only upload. I can't find any way to upload it now to the hard drive, where a 2 terabyte hard drive. Why wouldn't I want to put it on there where I've got lots of space? I have to put it to my SSD drive and then transfer it across if I want to. I can't see a way of uploading it directly to the hard drive, which I could a week ago. It's supposed to be an upgrade. Well, I don't know. I use for my thumbnails. This is answering Jordan here. I use Canva. I used to use TubeBuddy, but you have to pay for TubeBuddy, and I actually think Canva's better. So I stopped paying it. I use the free one. I just use the free one to do my thumbnails. And if you're better graphics than me, you could probably make some great thumbnails. But I'm no expert at that sort of thing. Do you know what? When I was at school, I basically got kicked out of art because I was that useless at art. Yeah. Will I go back to the Llangollen? Yes, I would. I know a lot of people say they won't. I actually love it up there. Well, I say I love it up there. I love about the last 5 miles. Once you get the Chirk, once you get to Chirk, you go over Chirk Aqueduct. It's absolutely gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, the rest is nice, but it's basically the same as any other canal, most of it, and it is hard work going upstream. That flow is quite hard work going upstream, especially in the narrow stretches. You're using a lot of diesel going up the Llangollen Canal. Coming back, it's the opposite, of course. You've got to try and put the brakes on to slow down at times. But yeah, the Llangollen Canal, I love it up there, and I did love it up there, and I will go back one day. But I want to try and see more canals as I can, or as many canals as I can, before I start repeating too many. Okay, I keep on coming back at the moment down south for Christmas time. That's because I want to go and visit my parents at Christmas. My parents are in their late 80s, and I want to see them at Christmas. I missed not seeing them for 15 years while I was over in the US. So I don't get to see them that often. So at least once a year, I want to go and see them at Christmas. Although I did see them back in October as well this last year, and hopefully I'm going to see them this year again in April. So I want to see them often. Obviously, it's not easy when living on a boat. My only form of transport is my boat, and trains and all get so expensive these days, and that's why I'm grateful that my niece would take me to the party on April the 1st. Enjoy your new and improved. Yeah, that's what I call it. Oh, pardon me. Well, I don't know if anyone's got any more questions there. If I've missed anyone out, please put it in again. I've been trying to keep it up with scrolling here, but I don't think I've missed anyone's out. And we've been going an hour. It's probably time to bring the stream to an end. And I want to thank you all very, very much for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure having you here. I might be going to the Maid tomorrow night. I'm going to be in Atherstone tomorrow, so I might pop to the Maid tomorrow night. I like the Maid. Maid of the Mill is the pub in Atherstone, right by the canal. Just for all you out there, if you don't know it, it's what I call a proper pub. If you go in there and you want food, you get a packet of crisps or a ham roll. That's their idea of doing food. And that to me is a proper pub. Love it up in the Maid. And I'm going to be back up in Atherstone tomorrow. I need to go there. I need to go shopping. I'm getting short of food. So go up there again to do a bit of shopping. And then probably turn around again and come back this way. But yeah, anyway, it's absolutely wonderful having you all here tonight. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all you mentioned. I'll be meeting Pete in the main. Oh, in the Maid, I assume. Monday around midday. Well, that might be meet you up there Monday at midday. Then I might not go tomorrow. I might just go on. I might go on Monday midday. Sounds like a plan. Sounds good to me. I'll probably do a bit of shopping in the morning, and then Maid later on. Yeah, why not? Well, thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to bring this stream to an end now. Appreciate all your help. Very much appreciate the money from Willie there. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Willie. That will definitely go towards some more beer for another beer stream. And I want to say good night to you all. And thank you very much again for joining me. What do I have to say? Thank you very much for watching. Trevor out. End stream. End.